I've been training literally for 20 years. And I'm not the biggest person in the world. It's just like, you cultivate and you focus on one fucking thing and you're training all the time. And that's my life. That's always been my career and what I did. No matter what, I've always been consistent. I've always been consistent. I've always had Pillar 7 locked down. I've always been consistent when I was working a ton, when I wasn't working as much in terms of my clients, in terms of my schedule, in terms of my travel. There are periods in my life where I was working 17, 18 hours a day. And I was barely exercising. So I lost a lot of size. And then I would come back, it's back and forth, but it was always consistent. It was always relentless. I was doing what I could do always when I can do it. And it's always been like the center point of what I did as a person. So it's as close to what someone would say, oh, this is my identity. And that's the interesting thing when it comes to training at home. And that's where a lot of people are going to get dragged into that low mood, into that depression type range, so to speak, is because a lot of people's identity is building size. A lot of people's identity is getting huge or building muscle and looking a certain way. And honestly, if you want to body build, you need overload, you need equipment. So heavier dumbbells, heavier weights, volume. It's great to have all those different tools. Can you do it at home? Of course you can. Of course you can. But if you don't have, heavy weights, you're not going to be able to do the same type of overload that might have gotten you resistance or results in the gym. So your goals have to change. Now that you're in quarantine, now that you have limited exercise equipment, your goals have to change. Your expectations have to change. Your understanding of what you're going to look like and what your body is going to become, you have to change those things. And I'm still kind of in the middle, and I'm kind of coming to grips with that. It's just when you're used to lifting and bulking and getting big, and now things have changed. I still have equipment that can get me plenty huge. I have 35. I have a 62-pound kettlebell. I have a 100-pound kettlebell. Like, fuck. You want to do some kettlebell swings with a 100-pounder? Like, how? You don't need any more than that. All right? You're doing kettlebell work, and then I'm also doing dumbbell work and bands. Like, I'm not necessarily doing as much overload in a workout. I'm not just crushing certain body parts relentlessly. I'm doing more upper body, lower body, total body stuff, but I'm making sure I'm doing something every day. If I'm sore or if I'm tight, I'm doing yoga or I'm doing kettlebells and stuff like that, doing some mobility stuff. I'm moving. I'm pretty much training every day, but I'm not doing high intensity every day. I'm not doing the same shit every day, not the same type of overload. So it's important to make sure, remember that you're recovering enough. And when you're in quarantine, when you're staying at home, you have the ability. And, for those of you that have this ability, you have the ability to recover more, to sleep completely, to rest more, to have easy access to your equipment. So without travel times to the gym or having to look a certain way, put on clothes. I mean, I just work out with my shirts off. I love it. This is how I would love to train in a gym all the time. And guess what? Now I have that ability. And had it not been for the coronavirus in this situation, again, it's not like, hey, I'm glad it happened. What I never would have realized, I never would have quickly bought out and set up a little mini home gym, and I never would have experienced these kinds of benefits because I wouldn't have changed my programming so dramatically. I wouldn't have changed my approach this much. I would have done the same shit, more or less. The way I normally change things over time, but I would have been still going to the gym and lifting weights there. I wouldn't have bought stuff for here. I have the gym right there. So it's different. And I said so in the pre-roll of this podcast that it's important to understand how you can make progress with the limited equipment that you have. Because if you never have been in this situation, you're going to have to grow and adapt to make the most of it. And you're going to maximize. Let's say you only have body weight stuff. Well, you're going to maximize the fuck out of what you can do with body weight. You could do a ton of shit. You can close a towel in a door, or you can hook it around a pole or a stairwell or something and do tricep extensions or do bicep curls, isometric body weight, and create your own little TRX kind of system at home. You could do stuff with towels with your significant other or your child and have them hang onto the towel and do curls with them and do an isometric hold, get a pull-up bar. You can get really cheap stuff, really cheap bands. You can maximize that, and it's going to hit muscles and it's going to hit volume aspects in certain movements in ways that you would have done before. So not only can you maybe not maintain what you had, because if you're not deadlifting 400 pounds, you're not going to maintain your ability to deadlift 400 pounds if you're not doing deadlifts with 400 pounds. doesn't mean you're going to lose all your deadlift strength. It just means that you can make significant improvements in other areas. So shift your mindset from maintaining what you were doing and focus on accelerating your development and your skills in other areas. I think that's a much better approach because you can make tons of progress, just tons of progress in an avenue that you never addressed before. Thanks for watching, fam. Make sure to subscribe to the Daily Swole podcast on YouTube so you can catch the live streams every single day.